Thank you so much for having me. Love being able to talk about the brand as a whole. It's my favorite passion.
Let me ask you, Natalie, when you were going through and looking at different options for your next chapter in life through business ownership, maybe other franchise opportunities, what was it that led you to a place at home?
So my husband and I had been employed with a huge telecommunications company for over 20 years. And we were told that, or we were given the option of a severance package. We decided to take that knowing that our current positions were going to be moved out of state, which was not an option for us. So we were both laid off in the summer of 2019 and started thinking about what we wanted to do next with our careers. And at that point in time, we sat down and had the serious discussion of, I felt it in my heart that I needed and wanted to get more out of my last job before I retired. And I wanted to get more and leave my footprint, so to speak, in this world. So when we started discussing options and opportunities, husband came up with home care, and we were hooked up with a franchise consultant company that brought us to a place at home and a couple of other home care agencies. And at that point, everything just started falling into place. And I knew that this was the path I was supposed to take in my last career choice.
You know, in that process, when you were learning about a place at home and those other options, what is it that really steered you towards a place at home and caused you to choose a place at home?
Sure. So you're right. Going through the discovery process, I was introduced to a very large home care company that had over 300 locations, coast to coast, proven business plan that worked rural or big city, as well as, and narrowed it down to that one and a place at home, which I was going to be the 6th franchise to sign up. Totally different scenarios in both. And working through that discovery process, with the larger organization, it was very clear that I could have that proven business plan and that reassurance there, but the personal connection was not there. And I felt like a number, to be perfectly honest. I then looked inward at my own strengths and abilities and weaknesses in figuring out if this is going to be my baby and I am going to be a good business owner, good sound business owner, then I needed something different. And I knew I am a better big fish, small pond than small fish in a big pond. I know that about me. I know that about my work and my personal life. So in meeting with you first and Dustin, that connection was just immediate. You guys were the founders of this whole brand, and I was speaking with you multiple times a week. You were always accessible to me, and this is a huge decision for anyone to make. So that connection was very important to me. It was almost, you guys were signing up with me. I knew that I had my safety net there. I was going to be able to work with you guys to get the training necessary. I am not from this industry, so it was all brand new. And just the way that you guys set up discovery, going through the validation calls, hearing and speaking with the founding fathers any time of day or night that I needed you. Again, having that safety net there and that one-on-one attention, it made me feel very confident in an unconfident area of my life and making all of these huge decisions. It helped solidify everything that we were doing. So it was it was personal connection. It was being a part of a brand new growing brand. Love that fact for sure, as well as being able to participate in the feedback loop of best practices and lessons learned, and even changing the way we did business as a whole for future franchisees. That's my specialty. That's what I love to do. I love to be at that higher level of looking over the whole industry and the whole brand itself, not just what I'm doing as a franchisee. And you guys bring us all together as one group, and we do operate as one. We are all family, and I loved that. I'm not next number. You are going to make sure that and help me succeed, and that was very important to me.
So glad that you came in for Discovery Day, that you decided to go with a place at home, and then it was off to the races. We started your launch process. Jumped into a task management platform, and you just went knocking down really any pins that we set in your way. How would you say launch went overall? What was your kind of takeaways and key points from it?
So launch, as you can imagine, is a mile-long list of tasks and activities that have to get done to open a successful business. I actually left Discovery Day and 2 days later had ankle surgery and was laid up in the bed for 6 weeks that I could not get out and use my leg or my foot at all. So I launched from my bedroom on my laptop. What was amazing about it is at that point you passed me off and I worked with Dustin, and that huge elephant that has to be taken apart to be able to get everything done in order for that day one launch, he broke it up into categories and tasks to where it was very manageable. We would work on a week-to-week basis and had multiple calls throughout the week, but every week we had our call where we would go through progress and issues and concerns. And he just would talk me through each step, why we're doing this, what we have to do to get it accomplished, how long it should take, and when it should be done in the process. He had all of that later, so it was very easy. And I just had a checklist, basically. And I was so impressed with just the level of assistance that I received, as well as the contacts that you guys put me in front of, whether it was something having to do with marketing or going through the application process to get my license put in place. I mean, not know where to start with anything. And, he's just doling out, this is where you can go get your loan, call him if you have any HR questions to put your policies and procedures together. And then we're going to work with her for your licensing. And it was just, looking back on it, wow, what a feat. But now, when I was going through it, like I said, it was broken down into bite-sized pieces that I attacked each and every week, and felt very accomplished through all of that. I was like, wow, I mean, we're actually getting everything done and setting us up to be a successful business, starting with launch day. And it was totally manageable.
Absolutely. So glad that was a positive experience for you and led you through kind of A to Z of business ownership and home care ownership. And we ended with training in the Omaha office. It was a week long. It was intense. We learned a lot. However, we also had some fun. Any comments, anything that stood out about training week?
So training week, wow. Wouldn't have been able to do it without training week. I will say that one-on-one training is essential. Especially if you don't come from this business in this industry and don't even know where to start or how to hold that first conversation with a potential client or a power partner. So I knew going into this that I could not open and start this business on my own. I couldn't jump back and forth between being the face of the company and trying to go out and establish relationships and get clients, and then turn around in the same hour, run back to the office and be the recruiter and hirer and get people employed to go service the customers that I got. So knowing that is one of my weaknesses, I decided to hire Chris right away and put her on salary and start with her. So she came to training week with me, and we got to play in ClearCare, our platform for scheduling and billing. So we learned how to onboard caregivers, how to hold those even interviews. We went as basic as that, how to interview and what questions to ask and what we're looking for, how to onboard the clients and caregivers into ClearCare. And also the best part was being able to shadow as the team went out on location to some of their business partners. We went to a home health partner, learned about that relationship and who we would want to come home and contact to build the same relationship, as well as going to a community and listening to the social workers and what they go through on a day-to-day basis, and understanding how we can step in as agency owners and help them do the job that they are hired to do and make their lives easier, which will then help them lean on you as a referral source. So it's
sure.
We are all in this continuum together, and that really brought everything that we had been reading about and thinking about, it brought it all together during training week. And we were really set up for success to come back, have 2 weeks, and then our opening day. It was perfect.
You have now had a chance to be a part of our convention for 2 years in a row. Our first annual and second annual A Place at Home convention. The first convention in person, lots of fun, collaboration, learning, and chances for all of us to really strengthen that franchisee-franchisor relationship and that collaborative franchise family type culture. This last year, we did it virtually, right? So it was a little new experience for everybody, but everybody is growing with the virtual presence and ability to still provide some of those functions and those ways in which we can all connect, but maybe on a little different basis. So what are your overall thoughts on convention last year, this year, and maybe some key takeaways?
I think convention just keeps getting better and better. So I know if you have if I had the preference, it would definitely be to be in person. I talk about connection a lot, and the personal connection, not only with you two, but getting to know the people that I spoke to during my validation calls, and getting to meet and talk one-on-one with franchisees who have either been where I have been or are about to be in where I have already been, or in the same place that I'm in. That connection with them, it does help build a stronger brand family. And those are great moments to get feedback from other people who are going through the same thing or have been through the same thing you're going through. And you really can lean on them and utilize them as individual coaches, mentors. I have one that I always am benchmarking myself against, to try to keep me at the top of and others
Sure.
that, we're side by side, and we would banter back and forth and, put up little competitions each month and try to go for it. It's
awesome. And
having a live convention where you get to meet and sit and have time to talk with the individuals is so very important. But you guys hosting convention, the speakers, especially this year with COVID, they were so relevant, and they really helped with giving us new knowledge on how to handle different situations with marketing during COVID, or with, giving us different financial tips. The speaker lineup was perfect. I want to say that first, as well as, oh gosh, you guys ended with the very last speaker being Tifa Snow, which amazing. She held everybody's attention as that final speaker, which is hard to do at the very end of a convention, as well as just pumped you up to go and be knowledgeable about dementia and how we can be the best we can be to help so many families that are in need and struggling with this awful disease. So anyways, convention was fantastic. I do think it just keeps getting better and better. Can't wait until next year. Hopefully we'll be able to meet in person again. And y'all are just doing a great job with it.
Natalie, I have one last question for you, bonus question of the day. If you were to go back and do this all over again, make the decision to start in a place at home, what would you do?
Well, it takes a lot of dedication and hard work to open a successful home care franchise, for sure. But I'm able to go to bed at the end of the day and rest my head on my pillow, knowing that I am actually making an impact in the community and helping so many people, both directly and indirectly. So yes, I would definitely do it again, and just look forward to so many more opportunities to get out there and continue building our brand name here and helping more families in their time of need.